And so what are we looking at for the economy for the rest of the year? And this is the same GDP forecast I had last month. Federal Reserve still saying about 5.6%, which is fantastic. But if you subtract from that the 4% we lost, you're still at about, over a 2-year time frame, that 1.7% to 2% GDP growth that we've really had over the last decade. And then with that, though, we're starting to see S&P 500 earnings beats. And that is a great sign, because everything prices off of expectations. And when you start to beat those expectations, again, that can be fuel for why things continue to climb and we don't have to have a pullback. And then here's a big one. US manufacturing close to recent level highs. And that's fantastic, because as you saw with COVID, it really took a nosedive. And in that time, we really started to have supply shortages in a lot of areas, inventory shortages. And now with this manufacturing, we're starting to keep that up or pick that up. And what this really shows, and this is interesting looking at the of a crisis compared to the Great Recession. So here's how long it took for manufacturing to recover during the Great Recession, more than 60 months. We got back in 12 months. And the difference here is what we had in 2008 was a true financial and economic crisis. What we've had here is a healthy economy with a healthcare crisis, but therefore the economy was able to come back quicker. Even though it was a steeper decline initially, come back quicker. And then here's a really cool one, and I'm going to talk about something with home starts in a little bit when we talk what might happen over the next decade on innovation. But home starts, look how up they are for single family and multi-family homes, and especially in the single family home, just significant demand here. And part of what I'm talking about with this, not simply being able to build and get supplies, now that that's loosening up a little bit due to manufacturing picking up, you're able to see these really spike and take off. And then here's the other thing, though, that goes with that. Because we're building these things, we don't have the right inventories, we're starting to have the price of lumber and materials just shoot through the roof. And we'll talk about inflation a little bit here. I don't think the inflation has anything we need to worry about long term. I don't view it as something where, oh, we're printing all this money or putting money in the system and therefore prices are going up. It's really more of a supply shortage. And because of that, it'll eventually equal out. But what you're finding is the cost of building, so people are building to meet demand, is far higher now than normal. And that's something that, unless they can raise prices, is probably going to hurt the share price on the home builders, and may make it harder for people to get into homes, but may not if interest rates stay where they are. So that'll be interesting to see. But if you're trying to build something like a deck or a fence, this might not be time financially speaking.